Maritime Made is presented by Nova Scotia Business Inc., helping businesses across the province grow through export. For more information, novascotiabusiness.com.
Hats, t-shirts, jackets, even canvas bags. You can screen print or embroider on almost anything. All you need is a message or a logo. If you're looking for a way to promote an event or a business, then screen printing or embroidery might be just the thing you need. And advanced screen printing in Halifax, Nova Scotia is probably the place to do it for you. Every screen printing and embroidery project starts in the design department. Here, client logos and designs are created or refined so they look their best. Some designs are created from scratch by skilled graphic designers. Some are created based on a simple customer sketch. Some are created based on a lower quality design provided by the customer. And some come straight from the customer ready to go. Finished mock-ups of the design are sent to clients electronically for final approval. Once a design is approved, it's ready to be printed. Screen printing is done using separate screens for each color. This means the designer needs to separate each color as a separate print. The printer uses light to create an all-black print on a clear plastic sheet. These prints will later be used to expose the screens. Once printed, the prints are then checked for flaws on a light table and lined up to ensure they all fit together correctly. Then taken to the production room for the next step. Screen printing screens consist of a polyester screening material that is stretched and then glued to an aluminum or wooden frame. There are a variety of mesh thread counts from 110 to 305. The higher the number, the tighter the weave. A tighter weave allows for a more detailed print as it lets less ink sink through the material. Once the frame has dried, it's coated in a light-sensitive emulsion. The emulsion is first poured into a trough, then applied to both sides of the screen. When the screen has been completely coated, it's stored in a dark room until needed. The next step involves burning the printed image onto the screen. First, a worker tapes the print onto the front of the screen. Prints that use multiple colors are placed using registration marks so that each screen matches up exactly on the finished garment. Each color is burned onto a separate screen. Once the print is secured, the worker places the screen on a light table. The table uses suction to ensure there is no ghosting on the final production screen. UV light is used to expose the areas of the emulsion that are not covered by the black print. The UV light hardens the unprotected emulsion while leaving the protected parts soft. This enables the worker to lightly wash the screen with water and remove the unexposed emulsion from the screen. The finished screen will block ink from passing through the exposed parts of the screen. Once the screen has been checked for imperfections, it's loaded onto the screen printing press. Large orders are loaded onto the automated press, while small custom orders can be produced on the hand press. Before an order is printed, a pre-production setup and test is completed. On the automated press, registration marks that were added by the designer are lined up with a test garment. The squeegee and flood bar are then attached. The flood bar will spread the ink evenly over the screen, while the squeegee will push the ink through the screen onto each garment. Once ready, a worker places ink onto the screen. Here we see a plastic-based white ink being used. White ink is always used as a base for darker materials, but in this case, it's the main color of the print. Advanced screen printing is able to match any color required by the client. Once the first layer of the test print is complete, the garment moves to another station where heat cures or dries the ink. Now the first layer of ink is dry, the garment moves to a second screen for a final coat of ink. The automatic press is able to use 10 screens at once that can each provide different colors of the design. The registration marks, which have also been printed onto the test garment, are used to ensure all the screens line up exactly. Each screen is adjusted until they match up. Once the test garment has been rigorously checked for quality, it's time to run the press. First, the registration marks on each screen, as well as the order information, are covered with tape so that they will not print onto the final product. The worker uses a glue to secure each garment onto the plate. Once all the plates are loaded, the press is warmed up before production begins. Once the press is warmed up, it's full steam ahead. This press is able to produce between 300 and 500 printed garments per hour. The final garments are passed through a dryer to ensure the ink is completely dry before shipment. Sometimes ink hits parts of the garment that it shouldn't. This is quickly corrected using a chemical wash. Once a project is complete, the screens are reclaimed. A pressure washer is used to remove the emulsion, and a dehazing spray is used to remove any ghost imaging left behind. Once a screen is fully cleaned, it's set aside to dry before being used for the next project. Advanced screen printing also embroiders logos and other messages onto hats and other garments. Embroidery designs are saved by the designer on a USB stick that's then loaded onto the embroidery machines. Each machine can embroider or stitch up to 15 colors at a time and is fully automated. Baseball caps are loaded into a specific machine that is able to print up to 6 caps at a time, while other machines are able to embroider toques or shirts or jackets.